It's your favorite Loke, especially after I done spoke. Support the real again. Get rid of the fake, the F you to the industry. How do you fight back? It's simple. All you got to do is just press subscribe, then join the movement over there on Instagram at CEDDYNASH. One word. That's where you and I can stay in contact. Plus, I'm going to like your pictures and all that. We had 75,000, so we done maxed. But when I can, I'm going to follow you back. To the crew, that's the truth. With the visionaries. Let's get into it.
Rap album cover is making its way around social media. The cover shows pictures of men who have been murdered in Jacksonville. Local rapper Ksoo posted the picture to Instagram. It's since been taken down.
He feels like the local rappers are glorifying these murders by putting the victims' faces on the album cover. It's unclear if the rappers are directly linked to these murders, but she says it's hard enough having to live with her son's violent death every day, and it makes it worse seeing her son portrayed like this.
Hakeem Robinson, aka Queso, was born on July 26, 1996. He came up in Melvin Park, a very violent section of Jacksonville, Florida. And with his father being Abdul Robinson, a heavy hitter for decades in the streets of Jacksonville, and his brother being Willie Addison, aka Boss Goon, and his other brother, Abdul Robinson Jr. Queso was bred to be in the streets. And he didn't just take to it, he was relentless with it. Earlier this year, there was a song that came out by the rapper Young and Ace, Spinner Benz, Fast Money Goon, and Whopper with the Chopper. It was called Who I Smoke. And in that song, Young and Ace had a line, and he said, "My killer make his face go. That's one thing about Queso." And it made me want to look into it, like, who is this Queso guy? You know, like, what's his story? And when I looked into his life, wild, man, that ain't even a word to describe it. He represents the ATK, also known as Ace's Top Killers, hailing from the east side with affiliations in the west side of Jacksonville also. Now his main ops are KTA, also known as Kill 'Em All, and they're led by the rapper Julio Fulio, hailing from the north side, Hilltop area, with affiliations in the south, the Arlington area of Jacksonville with the YNR gang, Young and Reckless. And Queso was ready for war. I know y'all probably heard the line, "Real G's move in silence." Well, that wasn't exactly Queso's MO. He wanted the whole world to know that he was about that life in his music and on his social media. And he didn't care who heard it or who saw it.
Kill you if you staring at my grandpa Jabos. My mama told me chill, cause I be killing niggas. You for real? Man, for real, I be really killing niggas. I don't tell lies. All I do is stay facts. Kill any nigga. I do not care where he at.
Queso would go on to display how much of a savage he could truly be on a song he had called Been Dead. At the beginning of the video, he sets the microwave to 9, then he proceeds to smoke a blunt, smoking on his dead ops. That 9 stood for Denitri Mixon, aka Lil 9, who is famously mentioned in the song Who I Smoke. Now, even though Lil 9 was Queso's blood cousin, that didn't stop him from dissing him at all. And it led to some people to believe that Queso may even have played a part in the broad daylight drive-by that took the life of Lil 9.
Giving you a bird's eye view, the shooting sent people in nearby buildings ducking for cover.
Just like bop, 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 bop. And like, it just happened fast, man. 10 seconds, maybe, everything.
And this is surveillance video of the crash following that shooting in Arlington. We've highlighted the black car seen slowly driving down the street. The car police are now looking for in connection with this shooting.
Queso would hop online, mocking the death of Lil 9, constantly trolling the KTA crew, letting them know that they should check the score. that the ATK had hit him up again. But see, Queso wouldn't be laughing for too long because Queso's brother, Boss Goon, would be released from prison after a 10-year bid. And once he was released, he was looking to become a rapper, like a lot of people in the ATK crew was starting to do. He began to shoot music videos and perform around the city. But one night, he had a performance at a strip club called Paradise. And you know, it was a good night. Their father, Abdul Robinson, was there. Ksoo and his family members was there. You know, it was a very celebratory environment. But once they were leaving the club that night, a SUV pulled up alongside of them. And according to Ksoo's dad, it was over 100 shots let off in this vehicle.
2 or 3 cars pulled up on the side of us, shot inside our car over 100 times, killed my son in the front seat, shot my son in the back, in the head 3 times, shot my nephew several times, a couple more passengers in there were shot several times, numerous of times. And I drove all the way from there to Memorial Hospital, shot in the back myself twice.
Now, like I said, Ksoo's dad, Abdul Robinson, was allegedly a heavy hitter in the streets of Jacksonville. And after this tragedy happened in his life with his family being shot up and his son, Boss Goon, being murdered, he wanted to assure the public that he was gonna let the police do their job and he wasn't gonna send nobody out for no revenge. He was just gonna let the justice system take care of it.
He wants people to know he's not retaliating for the murder of his son.
I want justice for my son. I'm not sending nobody out there. They got, quote unquote, I'm supposed to have hits.
They say actions speak louder than words. And the actions that occurred the weeks following the death of Boss Goon turned the city of Jacksonville into a war zone. There were several shootings between the two crews and constant dissing on Instagram, especially when it came to Julio Fulio, one of the top faces of the KTA crew. He was constantly getting at Queso, letting him know, hey, we the ones that got your big bro, along with the affiliate crew, Y&R, Young and Reckless. Now, it's 2 members in particular by the names of Y&R Mookie and Y&R Slugger T, and they was going at Queso extra hard and pretty much letting them know that they may have played an active hand in the demise of his brother and injuring multiple family members. On the song Gangsta Talk, Y&R Mookie raps, he was doing all that dissing, now that bitch can't say shit, pulled up on him at a red light, went to ripping in this shit. And you probably also asking yourself, how did this white kid, Slugger T, end up in the trenches of the war that's going on in the city of Jacksonville? Well, the answer to that is not 100% clear, but I think I may have some kind of insight on why he chose that path. Now, allegedly, his grandparents are affiliated with the Colombo crime family, the Colombo crime family being the mafia. So maybe that played a part in the path that he chose. But either way, he was in the game and he was dissing Queso's brother, and that put him on Queso's hit list. Now, Queso did try to get at him, tried to chop him down with an AK, but Slugger T was able to get away, and they both rapped about this. Queso would rap about how he almost ate his face, and Y&R Slugger T would rap, yeah, you pulled up, but you missed. But see, Queso would make sure that the next time he got the drop on the KTA member, he wasn't gonna miss. And the next person on his hit list is probably the most famous name in this entire beef, Adrian Gaynor, AKA Lil Bibby, the younger brother of Julio Fulio. Now the name Bibby has become in Jacksonville what the name Tuka means in Chicago. His name is constantly mocked on Instagram, music videos, basketball jerseys as constant reminders of the death of 16-year-old Adrian Gaynor. The story goes that Bibby was getting out of school and he was going to hang out in the Hilltop Apartments, a stronghold of the KTA crew. And he was also with another member by the name of Pop Out. But see, while they was chilling, they didn't know that danger was lurking, and that danger was Ksoo. He was with another man by the name of Leroy Whitaker. And when the time was right, they decided to slide on Bibby and Pop Out. Leroy Whitaker started chasing Pop Out, and Ksoo was on the trail of Bibby. But as Bibby was trying to run and get away, he was shot and he fell. And as the shooter approached him, he put his hands over his head to try to shield himself and his body, but he was shot multiple times in the face and in the head. Pop Out was able to get away, but Bibby died on the scene. After the death of her son, Bibby's mom would become a fixture on the local news, telling everybody that she vows to find who killed her son. Matter of fact, she would just flat out say that she already knew who killed her son, and she would try to urge Jacksonville PD to help solve the case. And Queso would respond to this on Instagram by not only dissing Bibby, but dissing his mom as well.
Poor ass dead nigga. Had his mom walk around, March. We're gonna get him, March.
But see, Queso was just getting started. And anybody who mentioned his brother's name, Boss Goon, he was going at him in the worst way. And next up on that list was a rapper from the KTA crew named Charles McCormick, AKA Little Buck. Now see, he had been dissing on Queso's brother for a while. So he came up with a plan to get at Little Buck, along with Leroy Whitaker and a man by the name of Dominique Barner. They all figured out where Little Buck was living at, and one day they followed him into a shopping plaza parking lot. And that was the moment that Queso decided to slide on Buck, shooting him multiple times in broad daylight.
Sources are telling us that the victim was shot in the head and killed in this parking lot. 2 suspects are on the run and a manhunt is currently underway.
Ksoo was on a rampage, wreaking havoc on his ops. But see, there were some problems with this last hit. Not only was it incredibly sloppy, they did it in broad daylight in an open parking lot in front of a whole bunch of people. One of those people being an off-duty police officer. Now, he says that he seen Queso stand over Little Buck and unload the clip. Now, after witnessing this, the police would give chase, and Queso would take him on a high speed all throughout the city until he crashed the vehicle. From there, he got out and went one way. Leroy Whitaker and Dominique Barner went another way. Now see, their adventures were caught on camera because they end up having to go through all types of different neighborhoods trying to get away from the police. And eventually they ended up in some woman's house where they ended up taking her hostage. But check this out. They actually used her phone to call somebody to pick them up. And that person ended up being Abdul Robinson, the father of Queso. Now, miraculously, all 3 men got away, but pretty much immediately after escaping, Queso would take to social media where he would post a caption, "Kill a nigga, get my toes done." He also posted an Instagram video where he was saying the line, "Big Glock on me, no safety." And that's a reference to a Little Buck song where he said the exact same line. He also put up a caption on Instagram with Little Buck that said, "Bye bye." So he definitely wasn't hiding from the spotlight when it came to who was behind this murder. But see, all of the fun and games was about to come to an abrupt end for Queso because one of the people that he was with, Dominique Barner, ended up being arrested for a separate murder of an innocent man. The story goes that Dominique was out riding around with some ATK affiliates, and just so happened they ended up pulling up next to a car full of people from KTA. And like a scene from the TV show Snowfall, as soon as they got sight on one another, they just start letting it go. And Damon Rothermel was killed in this hell of gunfire. Now, Dominique Barner would be booked at the Duval County Jail, and during his time there, he must have felt very comfortable talking, because he ended up speaking with a federal informant. Somebody was wearing a wire and ended up asking him about some of the murders that were going on, and he pretty much laid out the Fed's case for him. And he also implicated Queso in murders as well.
And starting to piece things together, you have a variety of suspects, a variety of victims, different links for different cases, but you start to see that web you described between all these homicides. And I want to talk to you about one thing that happened here. Police were able to make their case against Robinson because of a confidential informant.
The walls were beginning to close in on Queso, and Leroy Whitaker and his father, Abdul Robinson, were arrested as well in connection with these cases. I mean, the evidence looks overwhelming, with the FBI informant tape, with Dominique Barner's testimony, with the forensic evidence that they got from the murder of Little Buck, and with all of the Instagram activity that Queso was doing, where he was relentlessly dissing his ops, especially Bibby. I mean, that's a lot of evidence to just ignore. And currently, Queso is being held at the Duval County Jail, one of the most dangerous jails in America. He's being held on murder charges, and he's awaiting trial. He's facing life in prison.
Y'all expect me to keep it real? Because you know that I will. I do this daily, baby. Check out the Nightly Nash podcast. Also, stream the music, Steady Nash, if you have not. It's on all streaming platforms. Guaranteed you're going to find something you like. Probably like that overly thugging freestyle, or maybe something different. Let me know in the comments. We possibly shoot that music video. Oh, you want to learn how to win that free Xbox or PlayStation or concert tickets, or just a gift card in general? Simple. Be an active subscriber. What does that mean? The more you like, the more you comment, the more you share these videos, the higher your chances are increased to win. Simple. We're going to give away that specific item that you choose at 60,000 subscribers. That's 60. Make sure you increase your chances to win. This is free to y'all. It's only costing me. And I'm going to personally deliver it to you. How you like the sound of that? Cool? Catch you at the next video. Check out the previous videos too.